I am Grace Bui, and I'm going to share with you the findings that I saw from two videos which talk about happiness. So the first video, I'm going to talk about the main points in the first video, then move on to the second video. The first video was published by Brendan Burchard on May 4th, 2014. And this video is called A Secret to Happiness, how we can gain happiness in our everyday lives. What can we do to be happy? So he explained happiness in three aspects of timelines in our everyday life. Like people view happiness from the past, in the present, and also in the future. So what is happiness viewed in the past? Happiness viewed in the past is like being in acceptance of what happened in the past, despite the difficulties that one might have been through, despite what the obstacles that one passed through. It is coming to a point where you are in acceptance of what happened and hoping for the better in the future. And what is happiness viewing it in the present? Happiness viewing it in the present is living in the moment, appreciating what you have and using it to the fullest so that you can be happy. It's like taking advantage of what you have right now without worrying about what you don't have or what you will have in the future. It is like living the present, living in the moment. And what is happiness viewing it in the future? Happiness in the future, it is anticipating or expecting for greater things in the future. It's like hoping for something big tomorrow. Many people fail to do this because they are afraid of what may happen tomorrow. But being happy in the view of the future, it is like anticipating, saying that no matter what, tomorrow will be good, tomorrow will be bright because you're hoping for something good. Another thing he also focused on is like happiness we gain from being physically healthy. You may wonder what can I do to be physically healthy? He gave examples. You can sleep 8 hours, you can eat greens, you can go out, you can work out, you can share good times with your friends, and also especially avoid caffeine, avoid things that your body may be allergic to. Another thing he also mentioned is that the happiness we gain from our relationships, the relationship we have with our families, with our friends, with our co-workers. He said that in order to maintain this relationship that comes from, the happiness that comes from the relationship, we need to be there. We need to be present with our loved ones. We need to give them the benefit of the doubt in their everyday life. We need to care about them. He also focused on the happiness that we gain from believing in the something that is beyond us. He gave an example, for example, believing in God, believing in His creation, believing in that He has that there are good things ahead for you. It's like having faith in something that is beyond you. He also said that you can be happy by evaluating our everyday lives. You can ask yourself, how am I living my life? What's wrong? What can I change in my life so that you can improve your life for the better? So you find happiness in all those different aspects. And when we are successful in all those different aspects, we are able to grasp happiness. So going to the second video, it was published by a woman called Sonja Lyubomirsky. She published this video on July 5th, 2010. And this video was focusing on how we can be happy by doing kind actions towards others. How can we be happy? Sorry. How can we be happy by helping others, by being kind towards others? Here are the main points that she focused on. Like we can be happy. Some people gain happiness by helping others, by being kind towards them. For example, providing food to the poor, offering shelter, and things like that. Through her presentation, she used a study which was conducted on students. Students were asked to do 5 kind acts within 6 weeks. And then these students did, there are some who did those 5 kind acts in a single day, And that yielded, she presented graphs which showed how some were able to perform those kind acts and how others weren't able. Some were able like to visit their grandmas at the hospital, accompanying their friends to the airport and doing those different actions of kindness. So the study, the data which was collected from that study is that the students who were able to perform those kind acts within one single day, they were able to gain happiness more than those who weren't able or who did a few of them. Another thing she mentioned is that people, through doing those kind acts to people, we are able to, those people are able to appreciate us, and they are also able to reciprocate those acts to us. Maybe if I do something good towards my friend, like lending him or her something, that person can reciprocate that act towards me by helping me with something else that I might need. So it's very important to be to help others, because in the process you're able to gain happiness. So another thing here, we're going to compare these two videos in terms of the scientific claims they have. So the first thing is that the author or the presenter in the first video, who is Brendan, he did a good presentation. Yeah, he explained happiness and all his concepts, but he's just an American author on motivational speeches. Like, we can say that he has that enough knowledge in terms of psychology, in terms of how happiness impacts us as human beings, which is different from Sonja. Sonja is a professor in the university, is a professor of psychology in the University of California, and this is something that can prove us that the information she gave us is reliable scientifically, because she is a professor who has a PhD in psychology, and that is something which shows that the scientific claims that she made in her video are true and reliable. Another thing that we can base on to show that the scientific claims in the second video of Sonja are true compared to the first one is that she used a study which is different from what Brendan did. She used a study which shows the statistics of how students were able to perform those kind actions within different, some in weeks, others in days, and she also presented that data on a graph showing the results of those kind actions. The charts varied depending on those actions, so it shows that this video, or the research that Sonja conducted, she used studies, like she practically conducted research, which is different from Brendan. Brendan, yeah, it's good what he did, but it's just things that he just said. He didn't have like specific scientific facts to prove what he was saying. So moving on to the last point, I'm going to share with you the kind of stress that I meet as a student, or the kind of stress that we can find at Acme Widget. So the employees in that Acme Widget may be overloaded with much work that they have to accomplish within a short period of time. And this can result into stress because they are stressed about how they are going to do it, when they are going to, the time in which they will finish. And they are also stressed by the pressure put on them by their bosses. Your boss might tell you you have to do this within 2 hours, and you have other tasks that you have to finish first. And this is a kind of stress that can be acknowledged at Acme Widget. A stress that I encounter personally is that I have a lot of tasks that I have to perform within a short period of time, so it kind of creates stress in me, because I have many things to do, and I have to finish them in different schedules, so it kind of creates a stress in me. But through the stress management strategies we learned, I am able to manage that stress by scheduling my work, knowing what I have to do, and matching that with the goals that I have, so that I have to, in order to be successful. So it was a pleasure to share with you my findings on these videos. Thank you very much for your kind attention. See you next time.